Now we're going to take a look at how do I solve rational equations. So I want to remind you that a rational equation is just an equation that has fractions on one or both sides, okay? So we're going to use what we know about solving equations to solve this problem. So whenever I see a fraction is equal to a fraction, I know that I can cross multiply. So I'm going to say 5 times 3v plus 9 is equal to 3 times v plus 5. All right, so I'm going to equal these two things together. So I've got 5 times 3, which is going to give me 15v, and then plus 5 times 9, which is going to give me plus 45, is equal to 3 times v, which gives me 3v, and 3 times 5, which gives me positive 15. So I know that when I'm solving equations, the goal of solving equations is to get the variable by itself. So I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to move it to this side. But the only way that I can make this positive 3v disappear is by subtracting 3v, and then that will zero it out. By the rules of equality, what I do to one side, I must do to the other, and so now I have 12v. Okay, I also need to do the same thing with this 45. So it is a positive 45, and the only way I can zero it out is to do a negative 45. So I'm going to cross that out. All right, so I know that 12v is equal to 15 minus 45 gives me negative 30, so I have negative 30. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 12 because the opposite of multiplication is division, and that's going to give me v is equal to negative 30 over 12. I'm going to check that in my calculator to see if that will simplify. So when I go into my calculator, I'm going to hit alpha y equals. I'm going to choose option number 1, and I'm going to type it in. And I get negative 5 over 2. So v is equal to negative 5 over 2, or 5 halves. And so A is my answer choice. Okay. I'm also going to show you how to check this using your calculator, so I'm going to erase these really quickly. So we're going to use that concept again of putting it in my y1 and my y2. Okay, so I'm going to go into my calculator, and if I have anything in y1, I'm going to clear it out. So my left side of the fraction is 5 over 3. So now I'm going to put in the right side of my fraction. And I'm going to actually use x instead of v because that is the variable in my calculator. All right, when I hit graph, I'm looking for that place where they cross. So let me make my graph a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. All right, so I know that right here is my intersection. So I could use process of elimination, and I could go back to my other answer choices, and I can say, okay, this is clearly on the negative side of my graph. So if this is on the negative side of my graph, I know that answer choice B and answer choice D cannot work. I also see that I only have one solution here, right? And that solution is very clearly not at negative 1 or positive 3. So by process of elimination, I would have to say that A is my answer choice. I want to remind you, though, that I can also look for my intersection using that function on my calculator. So I'm going to hit second calc, choose option number 5. I'm going to hit enter, and then enter, and one more enter, and these are my answer choices that I get. And remember that I'm only looking for that x value in this case. So if I take negative 2.5 and turn it into a fraction, I am going to have negative 5 over 2.